Hi, I'm Dr. R.G. Allen Wilson. You may recognize me as a leading relationship expert for TV programs such as CNN, The Today Show, Good Day Philly, Fox 29, Tamron Hall Show, Mel Robbins Show, and local and national radio shows, just to name a few. I want to invite you to a very awesome opportunity that will enhance your life. Having courageous conversations that connect is key for a healthy relationship with ourselves and others. Knowing the right strategies and techniques aren't as simple as we think. There are principles to understanding how we all think and feel. Right now, you can join in my free quarantine talks to learn what others spend thousands of dollars in therapy to know. Each day, while we are in quarantine at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can watch, listen, and learn tips that will help you get through this challenging time in our lives. Here's the good news. There is absolutely no cost for you to participate. Tune in on YouTube, Facebook, and the Gram at Ask Dr. RG. I look forward to seeing you join our crew, and that's connecting relationships for epic wins. Have a beautiful day on purpose, from my heart to yours. And good morning, everyone. This is Dr. RG, yours truly. This is the Courageous Conversations Connect Space Quarantine Talks. Welcome to the show. It is August 24th, 2020. Believe it or not, this is our 23rd week during the quarantine talks. And this is, I think it's our 72nd episode. So welcome. I see you, Mama Stokes. Good morning. Thank you for joining. Listen, welcome to IG family, to our Facebook family, to our YouTube family. Do me a favor. Make sure that you tag a friend, share this video, even for those people who cannot watch it in real time. Please go on over to the YouTube page and subscribe to our YouTube page. We've got really good content over there. Ask Dr. RG, AskDrArgie. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Good morning, Deborah. Good morning, Cynthia. Our crew is on. Oh my goodness, Tina's on. Thank you for joining, team. I appreciate you. I see Billy Joe. Good morning. Welcome, everybody. Listen, we've got a great week planned for you all week. We're talking about embracing change during two pandemics. Embracing change during two pandemics. Anybody raise their hand, have difficulty with change besides just me? Change is hard, right? So we're going to be unpacking that. We're going to be talking about that. I see Stephanie Stewart on. Welcome to the show. Stephanie Charlotte's on. Welcome again. This is the Courageous Conversations Connect Space Quarantine Talks. We've been doing this thing for a while now, right? So hopefully our crew is expanding. We need you all to hit subscribe. We need you to come on board, tag a friend, share the video, let other people know that our crew, Connecting Relationships for Epic Wins, is here every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday on IG, on YouTube, and here on Facebook. And so we talk about courageous conversations. We have a crew, our Connecting Relationships for Epic Wins crew, and we talk about the things I believe that matter. So again, all week we're going to be talking about how do we embrace change. Do you have difficulty with change like me? Do you feel like that there are times when you just don't want to change? You just want to do it the way that you've always done it? Well, if that's you, then this conversation is for you. We are also specifically talking about how our rights matter. And so I have, and Morgan may come on, I have a shirt on. It's called Cycle to Vote. I hope you see it. Hey, can you show your shirt? So
yeah, here we go.
I hope y'all see it. It says Cycle to Vote, right? And here is the little directions here. You can go to www.cycletovote.com. Turn around more. There you go. Put your back straight so everybody can see it.
I'm straight.
All right. So it says scan me.
Is that better?
Sit straight up a little bit. Your back. Don't bend over. Yeah, there you go. There you go. So there's two ways to scan. You can either scan for registering to vote early or just registering to vote. If you scan it, I tried it this morning. You scan it, and then we're going to post this on our Facebook page and all of our social media, and it takes you right to the area where you can actually either register to vote early or register to vote. And I think this is my a good friend of mine who's also a therapist. You can turn around more.
Okay.
A good friend of mine who is also a therapist developed this initiative. Her name is Lauren Kahn. She's actually going to be on the show next week. She has a wonderful model, and she's going to be talking all about that and her initiative. And they're actually going to do a cycle to vote weekend honoring John Lewis. I think it's going to be the first week in October. So if you want to participate in that, we're going to share that information as well. Morg, do you want to share something?
No, I'm gone. I'm out. Just wanted to demo the shirt.
We need everyone, all hands on deck to vote. We all matter. And your rights matter. And so we're going to be thinking about what we need to do to make everyone get to the polls by any means necessary. I know I had to unmute myself, Cynthia. Can you hear me now? Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Nicole says, brilliant. BJ says, my way is always right. I gotcha. So listen, this is pretty serious. I think we have 72 days left till the election, and we need to vote like our lives depend on it. Everyone, as Senator Vincent Hughes says, everybody's got to take their hill. Thank you for that. Everybody's got to take their hill. Everybody's got to do what they can. We're thinking about partnering with Cycle to Vote in order to create that initiative that I talked about last week or a few weeks ago, where we have young people partner and make a pledge to partner with older people to make sure that they see them through the process, because this is about follow-up. It's about making sure that not just that people register and that they register for early voting, but that you make sure that they get to the polls or they get to the early polling sites. There's going to be 17 various polling sites throughout the city where people can actually go and do one-stop voting, if you will. So you can actually register there, you can get your ballot, you can fill it out, and you can turn it in. As soon as those polling sites become available, I will let you know. They're going to be 17 throughout the city. And so we're going to just continue to push forward and make sure that our rights matter. So when we come back, I want you all to think about who you're breathing for, who you're breathing with. We're going to go into our breathing exercises, and then we're going to talk about our rights. What do we have a right to? And I want you to think about what you have a right to. What is it that is your inalienable right that you want to highlight as you think about how you go through your week? So listen, we'll be right back. Stay with us. We're going to take a quick break from our sponsors. We'll come right back. Stay with us. And this is Dr. RG, yours truly. Welcome to the Courageous Conversations Connect Space Quarantine Talks. Oh boy. All right. So listen, we are thinking about, we're going to go into our breathing exercises. You all know what we do as a part of our crew, Connecting Relationships for Epic Wins. We breathe with and for someone or many, if you so choose. And we breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide, but we also breathe in hope and resilience and calm and peace and serenity. And we breathe out fear and frustration and anger and anything that would not serve to make us feel good. So we're breathing in life and exhaling out anything that is negative. I want to specifically breathe today. I saw this post last night and it touched my heart. Actually, it made me weep. I don't know if y'all know this person. Her name is Dr. Cheryl Woods and Dr. Sherry M. Good. Cheryl Wood and Sherry are twins, and they're doing some amazing work out there. And Sherry Good's son was killed last night in a tragic motorcycle accident. His name is Jordan Cofield. He was a junior at Morgan State. He was a phenomenal athlete. He was on the dean's list. So he was both an athlete and a scholar. He played football for Morgan State. My uncles, both Patrick Kelly, who passed away years ago, and my uncle Leroy Kelly, they both went to Morgan State. In fact, I have many, many family members that went to Morgan State University. And so I think he also ran track. And I saw the pictures, and he just seemed like such a wonderful young man. Jordan Cofield passed away yesterday on the scene, died instantly in a motorcycle accident. So I want to breathe for his family. I can't even imagine losing a child in that way, with so much going on in the world, with this young man having such a bright future. I just feel for his family. So I'm praying for him, but I'm also and his family, and I'm praying for all the young people that are faced with really false choices, as Morgan talks about, going back to school and what that looks like, or not going back to school and still being home, all the challenges that this COVID-19 pandemic has brought about that is causing us to make some really hard choices. So you all tell me who it is that you are breathing for. Get in your positions, your middle finger to your thumb, one hand over the other hand on your lap, or your hands to your side. Move your shoulders around a little bit. Who are you breathing for and with during this time? Please place it in the chat. I see you, BJ, Mama Stokes, Deborah, Debbie P. Good morning, Cynthia. Debbie Reed. Debbie Reed says, breathing for people who feel lonely during these times. That's a really good one. There's a lot of people out there that feel lonely, you know, whether they're in the family or, you know, living at home with someone or not living at home with someone. So I like that. All right. At the sound of my voice, when I count to 3, I'm going to ask you to breathe in through your nose, hold it for 8 seconds, and breathe out through your mouth. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. And out. Breathe in. And out. Breathe in. And out. Breathe in. And out. One last time. Make it count, crew. Long breath. Breathe in. And out. That felt good. Thank you, IG family, Facebook family, YouTube family. Continue to do that throughout the day. Mama Stokes said she's breathing for her children and their anxiety. Yeah, we all got anxiety, especially with going back to school. And Debbie P says she's breathing for those all evacuating in California. Yeah, that's happening too. There's some trends. There's some things that are trending that I wanted us to talk about as well. Cynthia says breathing. She was breathing for those who have lost a friend or family member during this pandemic era. Yeah, we're breathing for all of those, whether they've lost a friend or a family member due to COVID-19, or whether they've lost a friend or family member due to some other scenario. We're still breathing. Loss is real. Grief is real, and grief is difficult. So we're breathing for all of them. There are fires going on in California that are out of control. So we're thinking about those firefighters. I consider myself to be sort of a pseudo firefighter. And in some ways, I kind of go into trauma, to issues that people are having with regards to anxiety or fear or worry or frustration or depression, if you will, and try to help people with that. But, you know, we know that these essential workers like firefighters and, you know, police officers, as well as postal workers and grocery store workers and pharmacists and bus drivers, they all are having difficulty, right? And so with these firefighters, I mean, I know they take an oath to go into these fires, but it's a difficult job, and they are putting themselves in harm's way, and their families are worried about them. So When I look at the news and I see that these fires they're out of control. They have not been able to control them. I think about those families that are evacuated and being displaced from their homes, and we need to really keep them in prayer. Also, we know that they passed the bill in the House and the Senate with regards to, I think, $25 billion that would go to the Postal Service in order to keep it operational. So that was a good thing that happened. I snapped a picture of a postal truck this weekend on Sunday that was delivering mail. We've been getting mail on Sunday. We've also been getting our trash picked up on Sunday, and that typically wasn't the thing that was happening. So maybe that's a good sign in ways that, our services are continuing to be out there and people are continuing to work. So let's talk about our rights, guys. I want you to think about, and hey, Jen was under the weather. It's good to see you. I know that you had an injury, so I was keeping you prayers up for you, that you're doing better and that you're feeling better. So let's talk about our rights. I want you to place in the chat, what right matters to you most? Right now, I'm saying for me, voting is the right that I believe matters most to me right now, because our democracy is at stake. So, and if you all remember, right now, we are embarking on the anniversary of the women's suffrage movement, of which my sorority, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, participated in well over a century ago. We also know that we just experienced the 55th anniversary on August 6th of the Voting Rights Act, right? And so we know that women did not have the right to vote, and Black people did not have the right to vote for years. And it wasn't that long ago when we couldn't vote because of our gender and because of our color. Yet decisions and policies were made and legislation was crafted that did not have us in mind. And so we need to remember that people, dead, they died, blood was shed for us to have the right to vote. Mama Stokes said her right, Nicole, is voting and education. Voting and education. Because when we think about voting, we have to educate ourselves, right? We have to plan, we have to plot, we have to mobilize, we have to strategize, and then we go out and we act, right? Voting is our right to act on our behalf so that the people that we care about and that we love in our communities, that that decisions are made with them in mind, if you will. Jen said, please keep her in prayer. She went for a follow-up yesterday afternoon and has a dislocated ankle, got to wear a brace and walk with a cane in so much pain. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry to hear that, Jen. I know that you take good care of yourself and you need to rest. I know you've been out there doing a whole lot of work as an essential worker. Maybe this is God telling you to sit down and rest for a moment. Jen also said, voting matters to me. A change must come. I will be a poll worker, and in the middle, I went to. At my middle, I went to. Vote like your life depends on it, because it does. Charlotte says, we definitely need to vote. And so I'm thinking about the fact that, a lot of times we don't want to embrace change. Cynthia says, voting, truth, education, and peace matters. Those are her rights. What are your rights? What rights do you believe matter? Because the truth is, when we went into the primaries, we had protests, and our pastor said this yesterday. We had people out there protesting, which was a wonderful thing, right? That people were out there protesting right after George Floyd had the breath need out of his body. But the truth was in our districts, we only had 15% of people who actually went out to vote for the primaries. That was devastating. In addition to all the voter suppression that's going on, that people are trying, there are systems that are being put in place that are trying to suppress the vote and not allow people their inalienable right to vote. And that's not okay. Middle school, she meant. I got you. So how do we make a change? How do we embrace change in the midst of these pandemics? How do we get people to step out of their apathy, step out of their disappointment, or their feeling disenfranchised, and develop hope? Love, light, truth, and accountability, I believe, equals hope and freedom. But that means that we've got to all band together. We cannot do this by ourselves. We have to bridge the gap between the young and the old, between the millennials and the baby boomers and the seniors. We have to all hands on deck for this one, because our democracy is at stake. Debbie says her right is voting, education, freedom of speech, and press. And it's not lost on us. Thank you, Debbie, for that. It's not lost on us that this is the RNC, right? This week is the RNC. And we have to be careful what we're listening to, what we're processing, what we are absorbing, because our mental health is at stake. How about we have the right to our mental health and wellness? That's what I believe, that we have that right to get mental health care as well as physical health care. But if we're not putting our message out there, if we're not actually putting our bodies out there and helping other people to vote early, to vote often, to make sure, well, not often, but to vote early, and then make sure that you bring as many people to the polls as possible, that you encourage as many people to vote early as possible. Get involved, get engaged. Don't lose your engagement, because you have a right to it. There are so many people that died for this right. Morgan's on, so whenever she pops on, I assume that he has.
You unplugged yourself.
I did.
Okay, got it. Okay, you're back in. Yeah. I just wanted to add this little tidbit in. Be very mindful, folks, that we are under our very democracy is under attack. We have infiltrators. They are pretty much scamming the system, and you have Russian operatives who are cyber, attacks. I just listening to the news today again, confirming and reaffirming the attack that happened in 2016, where they stole the Democrats' documents and so forth. So be very mindful. You had these bots. These bots are, coming in and trying to get you to log on and send money to a phony Democratic site. You know what I mean? So you have to do your diligence to make sure that you find out or make sure it's a credible site, one that's been approved by the DNC, and that you're sending your money and information to the right place. Okay, so be very mindful. There are cyber attacks that are happening through operatives outside the United States trying to manipulate and trying to gum up the system, if you will.
Did you hear about Pizzagate, babe? Did you hear about Pizzagate?
Not hear about Pizzagate. No. Yeah. So anyway, listen, we're not trying to make this a political platform. We are about having courageous conversation that connect. Part of the voting system is a courageous conversation. We want to be very clear. We're not telling you who to vote for. We want to be very, very clear about that. But we're telling you have to vote. And hopefully you'll make the right decision as best serves you and in your interests. And understand, all politics is local. All politics is local. And that means you have to vote your local interests. Legislation happens based on who you send to Washington as your congressmen and representatives, okay? The Senate, all those things. You have to understand what that means. That's how the sausage is made, okay? Yes, the presidency matters. Sure, he can, set or help to set policy, but really, you got to understand, policies are voted in the Senate. It's voted into law in the Senate. So you have to make sure that you vote in the down ballots to make sure that you vote your interests and vote the right people in who will then push for your local interests. That sets the precedence to go into law. That's
by
how
the way,
it works, guys.
They changed the regulation so that there's no more straight ticket voting anymore. So you can't just vote all straight Democrat or all straight Republican, which I actually kind of like. But at the same time, I think that more importantly, people need to be educated so that they understand that, so that they actually do their due diligence to, you know, get themselves up to snuff on who is doing what.
Right. You just can't take a blind approach. You have to really understand the nuances and the differences here. And like you said, the key word you kept saying, educate. You got to educate yourself. You just can't, okay, I'll just pull this lever. And, you got to take it serious. I mean, you can't complain about what's happening in your environment. You can't complain about the government, lack of resources. You can't complain about the school system. You can't complain about all these things if you're not participating and putting some serious effort and some elbow grease in the mix. You got to do your due diligence. You got to do your homework. There's no getting around that. You can't be lazy about this. It just frustrates me. People try to be lazy about it, and not really do their homework around it. So understand the interest that matters most to you. Understand the nuance and the details of it all, so you know how and who to vote for your interests. All right. That's it, guys. It's my 2 cents on the Ask Dr. RG platform.
Thanks, babe. That was good. I want other people to share. Listen, this platform is for you. It's for our crew, connecting relationships for epic wins. This is our 72nd episode. We are here to have the quarantine talks, have conversations when you feel despair and some level of despair, when you feel upset, when you feel overwhelmed. Here's a safe place where we're having quarantine talks to be able to talk about what it is that is uncomfortable for you, or maybe even getting some tips or some strategies to help you deal with certain situations. So today, or really all week, we're talking about how to embrace change in the midst of 2 pandemics. Debbie Pearson says, yes, absolutely, we need to fight for our democracy. Absolutely. Jen says, today is the post office hearing, and I'm breathing that it goes well, and something will be done carefully. Awesome. And Dr. Logan, Dr. Gail, good morning. Thank you for joining, Dr. Gail. She says, good morning, Dr. RG and Morgan Wilson. I'm ecstatic about the funding of the post office. Me too. We are ecstatic about that because we know that was a big win for us with regards to the funding of the post office, but we can't be too complacent with just that, because we know that there are going to be other things, just like Morgan just said, that are going to try to trick us. There's gaslighting, all kinds of gaslighting that's going on. There's weapons of mass distraction. And we have to stay focused. We can't put our energies on things that don't matter. And this is why I'm asking people to think about, really, in this next 72 days, this is our 72nd episode, and I think there's 72 days or 73 days, I don't have that, don't quote me on that, until the actual election, November 3rd. And so we have to think about, what did our forefathers and mothers die for? Morgan and I took the opportunity to watch Harriet this weekend. I had seen it. I had taken my mentor, my friend, one of my very dearest friends, Dr. Marlene Watson. I took her to see the movie Harriet because I call her my HT2, right? My Harriet Tubman 2. I hope that, somebody might call me one day Harriet Tubman 3, like HT3. I hope that. But I don't know that I'm as courageous as Harriet Tubman, who went back 22 times and freed thousands of slaves, right? Said she would have freed more had they known that they were slaves. Put herself in harm's way. Now, we know initially she went back for her husband. We know she went, and then her husband had married someone else. But then she realized, okay, well, that really wasn't my mission. My mission was to realize that I was walking in my purpose in order to free people and bring them to freedom, right? Why are you laughing, babe? What?
Got it. Because there was a little bit of a conversation you and I were having about that situation that Harriet Tubman and her husband fell into, was that she had the nerve to be upset with him on the fact that he remarried. Listen, the word was, she jumped off a bridge to her death. The man thought she was dead. But then she gonna get mad at him. I mean, this is how Hollywood, produced the movie or wrote the movie, that she had no to get mad at the man because he moved on and married, and now the new wife was with child. So I'm trying to understand how she had the audacity to get all in her feelings.
Okay.
And I understand, but give the man some context. Give the man some
Relationships are
here.
complex.
Huh?
Relationships are complex. So
well, I
she was
understand,
mad
but
because
she really had. I mean,
on the line.
I mean, she was like, he's like, look, you know, I never stopped loving you, but then he made it very clear. See, wait a minute, you left me. You supposed to meet me at the bridge or wherever, and she never showed up. Now I understand why she did it, because he already had his freedom. So
she did not want him to lose his freedom if he was got caught.
I got that, but the fact to remain, he felt like he got left at the altar, sort of, you know, and like, yo, you know, and then, you know, going to find out you did. Now she comes back a year and a half later. He done moved on.
She sent word. She sent word that she had made it.
But
and
by that time, the guys were lumberjacks or something jacks they were called. Blackjacks. There you go. On the boat, and they got word. But by the time they got word to him, he had already moved. At that point, he's like, well, dang, you know what I'm going to do here? You know, she's alive.
What's your point, Morgan?
Anyway, that was my point. Anyway, we went back and forth on it. I'm just telling everybody.
So my point is,
wait a minute. Listen, Mama Scopes. It wasn't that he could wait a year. He thought she was dead. You're missing that point.
Mama Scopes said she might be a timeout from Morgan for 6 minutes.
You know, so I'm not saying to make her wait a year. Listen, if there was no word that she had died, or there was word that she had survived the fall, whatever it may be, right. But now understand the backdrop. Even if she had survived, he in his mind thinking she left me. She went on without me. And there was no explanation as to why. You know, remember that at those times, you know, it was horse and buggy. You had, you know, word, wasn't no phone or text. You could say, look, I'm leaving you. I ain't gonna meet you there because I don't want you to get caught. Under that context, then I get it. Then he would have to understand what the situation was. So back in those times, you know, that's just what it was. I just feel like, you know, she had, you know, I'm
not feeling you today.
And I understand her initial, you know, I guess anger or hurt. But after he said, look, I was operating on the fact that you were dead. All right. And also I'm in my feelings because I got left. I think she could have took a moment and said, all right, you know, let him off the hook. But anyway, that's just my little take on it. What's the audience saying? What's everybody saying?
So
are they crucifying me?
It's about loyalty, no questions. Mama Stokes says Morgan Wilson Jr. No. He couldn't wait a year. Damn.
I explained my situation.
Morgan, no Morgan. He wanted to cheat. Laugh out loud. Point is,
wait a minute. Where are you reading?
Oh, Morgan, nobody is with you this morning. Nobody.
Wait a minute. Come on, guys. Come on.
Wilson Jr., you're
nobody understands my point of view. Nobody understands. This man was operating on the fact that she was dead. Dead. I mean,
I'm breathing today for Morgan.
What's he waiting for? A ghost to come back? Come on.
You're not going to win this argument.
Listen,
you're not winning. You
guys are not being rational. You're being irrational about this. Be fair with the brother. And he loved her. He was truly in love with. Listen, what did he say? He said, "You don't understand. I'd have died for your cause." He was clear. He was ride or die. He was willing to put his freedom at risk. The man was already a freed man. He was ready to go down, ride or die with his woman, and put his own freedom in jeopardy. The man loved her.
Okay, so Deborah. So listen, Morgan. Deborah says that he.
Let's see what everybody else. Wait a minute. I'm slowing up on all these comments. What's going? Wait a minute. Where are you?
I'm at Deborah. Deborah Reed Delator. Deborah.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Got it. Deborah said he was. Yeah, he was thinking with his little head in his pants.
Come on, Miss Deborah.
Karen said.
That's Chuck's mom.
Oh, okay. Okay. Karen, go down, Karen.
Oh, wait, but he was whoring. He was
Whoring.
whoring. Okay, that might have been real. Okay, okay, that could be real. That could be real. But he's operating on the fact that he was told she was dead.
Morgan, do you know that you're not winning this? That you're not winning it. You're not winning here.
Well, listen, y'all can believe what you want to believe. I'm telling you, the man was operating on the fact that the woman was dead.
Cynthia
I don't
said
know. What's
he
Cynthia
didn't go
said?
look for her body. Side note, what's different about Morgan? I don't know.
What's different about Morgan today? Oh, have no beard? Have no beard? Is that what it is?
Nicole said he lied. By
He
Morgan
lied.
never
What do you
said.
mean he lied? He lied. Oh, is any brothers online here? Are there any brothers on here?
You have no help today. None.
I don't understand. It's irrational thinking.
You need to call.
Operating on she was dead. I don't understand why.
Call Tyrone.
Why gotta be quiet?
Be like what's the singer? Erykah Badu. Call Tyrone.
Oh God, what you say? Oh,
I said,
typical. He got a little extra freedom
and moved on. So
all right.
So you're not gonna win this one.
Y'all just completely dismissing the fact that the man was operating on the fact that she was dead. Y'all want to just alternative facts. That's what y'all doing. Y'all want to believe alternative facts.
It's not alternative facts, Morgan. Did he have a burial service? It's not alternative facts, Morgan. I'm actually I kind of do this for a living, right? Work with clients and couples, and it's both. It's a both and, not an either or. Yes, he didn't know that she had died, that she had not died, and he chose not to wait.
Miss Gail is my savior. She said, at least she said, I understand your point. That's all I'm asking for. That's all I'm asking for. You can't ignore that fact. I don't care what you say.
Morgan, no one is ignoring the fact that he thought she had died. No one's ignoring that. And that by the time he moved on, he found out she hadn't died. But what I'm saying also is, look at both sides of it, right? My husband is
in the background said, Morgan did this to yourself. I understand. Listen. I don't go into this without understanding the job was dangerous when I took it. I understand.
Just throw your hands up, Morgan.
I understand.
Morgan, since you understand, right? Let me ask you to do this.
Okay, go ahead.
Since you understand, and you so eloquently talk about the side of the man with regards to having not enough information to make a good decision.
No. Your premise is wrong.
No, let me finish.
He had information, and he made a decision based on information, not enough information. I mean, think about. He
didn't have all the information, Morgan, because she was dead. She wasn't dead. But let me ask you. I'm asking you to weigh the argument as strongly on the other side, because there's two sides to this information. So, yeah.
Oh, I mean, listen. I'm not saying. Listen.
Speak for Harriet Tubman. Give the argument for her side.
Give me a second. I will share with you.
Please do.
What I said. I'm going to tell you what I said. I said that initially I understand why she would be so upset emotionally, but once he explained his viewpoint, I didn't understand why she continued. I mean, listen. I mean, everybody can.
People don't need a minute. She went through harm's way to get back. Initially,
I clearly
put herself life on a line to go, because she said she couldn't be free and not bring her husband to freedom in the north, right? So you don't think she needed a minute? He couldn't leave. He couldn't do it for a year.
Did you hear what I said? I said I understand. She got to take a minute to kind of process all that.
Longer than a minute.
Okay, all right.
However,
a minute. You know, I don't mean literally a minute. Whatever that meant. Minute was just metaphorical. It's not really literally a minute.
What is the ultimate point? What is the ultimate silver lining in all of this?
Well, listen, I guess the point was, I was just trying to say, you know, for conversation, argument's sake, if you will, is that, you know, you were talking about the subject, and, you know, going back to fight for voters' rights and all this like that. But I was trying to weave into the conversation this nuance from a relationship standpoint, because you are the relationship expert, and this
Yes, I am.
conversation that you and I were having while watching this movie, I just figured I would kind of let everybody have a little peek window into our little, conversation.
Let me tell you, crew, Morgan and I go at it for real when it comes to our differences of opinion.
What's that?
I appreciate you.
Cynthia
kind of mostly being on my side. And he didn't verify the information he had first, right? Then said, laugh out loud. You see what you got yourself into? Y'all still make a lovely couple. I know, Jen. Nicole said she risked her life for that fool.
Why gotta be a fool? I don't understand. Why does he have to be a fool? I don't understand. This dude he was risking his freedom to follow, his wife's situation. He was ride or die. He's like, look, girl, I'm rolling with you. You know what I mean? Standing there at the bridge, waiting for it. He was
I can see, really, in seriousness, I can see both sides. I can see how he was upset that she had left him, and I can see how she was upset that she had left her.
I didn't say I couldn't see her point of view. I didn't say that.
Your argument is so strong for him, though. It's not as strong for my Shiro, Harriet Tubman.
Okay. Oh, geez.
Anywho,
I'm being burnt at the stake right now. I'm being burned. She probably, what she say?
She probably thought he should have known she'd come back for him. You think, Morgan?
Come on. Okay, you know what? I'm not even,
you can't win. I told you couldn't win this argument.
This is really
I told you couldn't win. Mama Stokes said, yes, Dr. RG is the expert.
I understand. Listen, I'm not the expert.
Laugh out loud. I just love you guys. So, yeah, this is what we do in our downtime. We have a little fun.
No, this got totally off track. I totally off track here. But I had to just go into deep waters with you guys.
Okay.
Oh, I need to watch it. Yeah.
Yes, you gotta watch it.
Go watch the movie, Debbie. Watch the movie and try to be objective. Watch it with a very discerning eye and be objective. That's all. That's all I ask.
Well, some other parts of the movie too was that she came back again for her sister. I can't tell. Everybody didn't watch the movie, but the point is that her sister said, listen, Harriet, everybody can't be you. Everybody's not as strong as you. And I think that kind of gives us a heart left back to the initial conversation of what is the hard stuff that we all need to do that perhaps somebody thinks we're crazy or somebody's not willing to go that extra mile with us. What do we feel we're willing to die for, or what are we willing to fight for? That's the point, that Harriet Tubman was willing to fight for not just her own freedom, but for other people like her family and the people that she had left that were still bound to slavery. And I can't tell you, Morgan, that I know that I am that courageous that I'd actually, during those times, back in the early 1800s, go back and fight for somebody else's freedom when I already had my own. What about you?
I'm saying it's a mentality. There were so many people willing to either die trying, going out swinging, versus people who just, I have an uncomfortable norm. I'm in this situation, which is hellish, but it's all I know. So I'm going to move on the familiar, not the unknown. It's just, we see it every day. Sometimes, you can want more people than what they want for themselves. And you can be moving at 1,000-foot level, which we talked about this weekend as well. And everybody just can't operate that way, and it just is what it is. And so Harriet operated on 1,000-foot level mindset of never quitting and doing whatever it takes for her to win. And it's people like her that helped us to get where we are today. She went on to do great things. She remarried. I really wish there would be a book or something that would delve into, what happened.
Oh, there is.
Her life once she got remarried.
Yeah, there is.
I don't know about that. So I would be curious to know.
One of the things that she said when she actually went to Canada, and she was a part of that movement,
She was a spy.
the anti-slave movement.
She was a spy first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so she said, just because it's hard doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. Because they were like, okay, 100 miles, that's where you travel to freedom. But now this is 600 miles. It's too dangerous.
Right.
And she was like, and so isn't that the point of what's happening today? Isn't that the point of the topic for this week, embracing change during 2 pandemics and what your rights are? Should we do what we do because it's easy?
Listen, there was,
or should we move forward in spite of the fact that it's hard?
Listen, Pastor Wilder gave a good example about Africans, how they would wait not just for hours, days and weeks in line. They would walk, I don't know, hundreds of miles or so in line to vote. Okay.
Right.
And some people have nerve to complain about, standing in line for a few hours. Look, I'm sorry, you got to understand, there's controversies everywhere. We can pick it apart and not pick it apart. You always want to have challenging conversations or courageous conversation or conversation that pushes you to think about and entertain and have intellectual discourse. There's nothing wrong with that, and have intellectual debate on different points of views. Nothing wrong with that, but at the end of the day, you have to have an overall mindset and objective and goal, and debate how we get there, or what we talked about yesterday with somebody. We were talking about, I was explaining to people that there's a difference between strategy and tactics. People get those two confused. Strategy, you have strategy, but the tactical maneuvers to implement and to do the practical application of the tactics, that's really where the sausage is made. That's what it's all about. So anyway, I know we went down a rabbit hole on this.
I'm trying to call a link back to. I mean, I think it's very relevant.
Good. Sometimes you can kind of kind of unpack stuff and get through the deep. What you smiling? I missed what you said. What'd you say? Smarty pants. What'd you say?
It's okay, babe. It's okay.
What'd you say?
I'm gonna keep it to myself because everything you think you shouldn't say. Karen says, I can no longer fight for anyone who won't fight for themselves. I don't have the emotional capacity anymore. Stress kills. It's really interesting, the comment that Karen made, because, we always say what you just said a few minutes ago, sometimes you want more for people than they want for themselves. So what does that fight look like? And I'm a proponent of putting that oxygen mask on first and fighting for yourself, because you can't have that strength to fight for anyone else if you're not fighting for yourself. Cynthia Mead, who just came on, said he should have waited. So you're not gonna win that argument. But I want to say something else, which is one of the things that Harriet said towards the end to someone when they talked about her trying to save her sister, go back for her sister. She said, I felt like I failed her. How many people feel like you're trying to bring people along? You're trying to get them to see the pathway to freedom. You're trying to get them to vote. You're trying to get them to understand that they have rights, but they have to actually act. They have to embark on a call to action themselves. And have you all ever experienced this where some people are like, no, I'm not changing. I'm not changing my mindset. I'm not voting. I went canvassing 3 years ago in my community, and there were people that said that they were not going to vote, even though they had children and they understood that it might harm their children and I said, if you don't vote, that's actually making a statement. You're actually making a decision that's going to impact you. So it's baffling to me, but for Harriet, she had something quite different that caused her to want to go back. But I didn't necessarily see it as a failure that, let's say, her sister wouldn't come along or other people wouldn't come along. Sometimes you can't bring people. I guess what's that saying? You can bring a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. So Debbie Pearson says she found places where she could make an impact. And you're right. Not everyone has the strength. But if someone thinks about how they can make an impact about what they care about most, no matter how strong or not, they can act. I can't do what I once did, but I can act in different ways. Interesting. I like that, Debbie. What do you think about that, Morg?
What Debbie said?
Yeah.
Okay.
That she can't do what she once did. I mean, sometimes people do get tired. Like that's why you got to bring new energy.
Well, that's the argument right now politically. Political argument is on the DNC side that we haven't been doing a good enough job bringing in fresh blood, new blood, old regimes going out. There's new ways. The technology is in place in a different way. Young folks consume it, manage it, operate it, live it, sleep it, drink it, breathe it, totally different. So the old school, you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. How do you embrace and understand all the history we come with, but also be open to new ideas, new thoughts, new processes? People evolve. Change is always the case. And right now, I do believe that some of the old guard has held on a little bit too long. And there's now time for some fresh blood and some new ideas, some new thoughts. And change is inevitable. That's what's happening. That's part of the deal with the country now. There is a major sea change. And as we know, part of the human condition is fear of the unknown, fear of a new norm. And if you're operating with, I guess, privilege, if you will, for so many years, and now that's being threatened, people are going to fight. People are going to fight, and they're going to fight hard, and we have to understand that. So there's a paradigm shift happening, new way of thinking, and we have to embrace that. Because
we have to fight.
It's no different than now.
Can't be apathetic.
And I'm gonna tell you something else too. There's all kind of analogies, and there's all kind of things happening. Shifts are happening. For example, there was a document or segment on 60 Minutes about the trucking industry, how we having these autonomous drivers. These big 18-wheelers are happening. They're on the road now, testing them. People don't even realize that there's 18-wheelers, unmanned 18-wheelers being tested right now on the road. So what does that mean? There's a serious elimination of truck drivers that's about to happen. So there's change. I mean, no different than when you had the Pony Express. Okay, now that Pony Express goes this mail and the system, and so the mail's being challenged again. With new technology. They're trying to force it to be privatized. And not be a public entity and so forth. So there's challenges happening all around us. We have to, do our due diligence to understand what those challenges mean and what kind of impact it's going to have on our lives. And just, again, vote your interest. Vote your interest. Understand what that means. You can't it just frustrates me. I know I'm on my soapbox here. It frustrates me. People say, I only vote for presidents. But you don't understand. It's a whole lot that come before that. And voting that down ballot is really where the sausage is made. It's not so much the president, it's that down ballot. So anyway, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm feeling. That's my thoughts. I really hope you guys understand that. Share this post with your family and friends. Share it. Let everybody know what we're talking about, what we're on doing. I mean, this is the courageous conversation that connects. So it's not just relationships. We can get into other topics and subjects that'll help the overall group. You guys are part of our crew, and that is connecting relationships for epic wins. That's what we do. We want to have an epic win in life. Epic win for you personally, epic wins for you entrepreneurs and business, and whatever you do in your corporate world. That's what it's about. All right. Having epic wins. So let's see what's happening here. Debbie, we heard what she said. What Cynthia says. Cynthia's saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Absolutely, Cynthia. Let's see what else here. Gail said, it takes believing and hope for the future. People become complacent. It's sad. This democracy and human rights are at risk now. We must vote. Absolutely. Now this, I agree with Morgan. Okay. One for me.
This one.
All right. Debbie says, I guess I mean I have a disability. Can't go out and do things physically so much, but I can call, text, email, tell my friends and family, and call my representatives, and I can vote. I can organize or get out in the streets, but I can educate myself and others. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Laugh out loud.
It's going to take everybody to really pull it off. It's going to take everybody to really go out there. We're trying to do our part on our platform. Like we had this thing, cycle the vote. And then, Art, you can turn around this time.
Okay.
Last time. There you go. And move back off the screen. Too far to the screen. Just move. There you go. Yeah. So, we're trying to do our part to scan this stuff. This is a great opportunity, a great idea. And you got to do your parts, guys. You have to do your parts. You have to go out and express it. Audrey has a good idea, and I think, initiative too, which is having young folks connect with older folks, our seniors who are stuck in here, who are also afraid of going out because of COVID-19. That's important. So they have some limitations. So the other concern they're having is that the poll workers typically are our seniors working the polls because
right.
They're not working and so forth. But now you have a lot of seniors who aren't going to work the polls because they're afraid of exposing themselves to COVID-19. So we have to really engage our young folks to go out and replace those seniors who typically will be at the polls, working the polls, and to also connect with seniors and their families, my moms and grandpops and uncles and aunties and cousins, whatever, who just wouldn't get out otherwise, and help them through the process of turning in their ballots on time, and making sure the ballots are filled out correctly, and then taking it down into the box themselves. Don't put it in the mail. I don't know. I just, to me, go to the box, go to those designated areas.
And drop boxes.
And drop boxes. And put that ballot in the drop box. It's going to take, the overwhelming collective to really make some changes here. So, all right. So where are we at now? Let's see. Mama Sco says we owe our voice to one another. Our vote to one another. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Absolutely. That is our right.
To one another. Absolutely. So, no question about it. So, babe, I'm sorry. I kind of threw a hand grenade in the room. At least I didn't walk out. I didn't throw the hand grenade in and close the door behind me. I threw the hand grenade in and stayed in the room and took my punishment.
Took your medicine.
The crew hit me hard today, boy. I tell you.
You deserved it.
But that's what we're all about. We're all about having those courageous conversations. And sometimes the courageous conversations mean you step on some landmines, you step on some toes, you kind of prick some people's thoughts and engage. That's we want to have engaging conversations. That's what we want to have safe conversations. We want to have engaging conversations that sparks thought, interest. We want to have the conversation that makes you think. Having opposing, like an op-ed piece, just live and video. So it's not a written piece; it's an op-ed piece in terms of our show. Who has an opposing thought? Let's have it. Let's hear it. We're gonna step this game up, guys. We're gonna step the conversation up a little bit. And listen, right on cue. Hold on, right on cue. The op-ed queen herself, our family member, Shelly. She is the op-ed queen. Come on, Shelly. What you got, Shelly? Hold on, wait a minute. What's Shelly talking about? Go ahead, read Shelly's, babe.
She said, I think the old political guard is trying to make room for the new guard like AOC. But then she says she doesn't believe Joe Biden will bring the party forward. How is this helpful?
Well, I mean, that's the argument, guys. This is an argument. You have to understand. I mean, listen, it's no different than when Barack was on the scene. You had Tavis, what's his name? Smiley, and
Cornel West.
Yet they were like roasting them. I mean, holding it, and I gotta say, to some degree, they were kind of right. He.
I think you have to hold every official that is voted into office to
line. I know we had to walk the line. I get it. But we have to have room for again. energetic discourse. We got to have room for the conversation and not cancel somebody out whose thought is opposed to ours, or how well we understand the strategy. We have collective strategy, but the tactics they're using is different. So because they use a different tactic, we want to cancel the person. I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I think that's absolutely foolish. I think it's sophomore, quite frankly. I think it's very immature thought process. I think, that's just my thesis on that. Let's see here. Well, I feel
better now, Morgan. Then Deborah says, Morgan, you certainly were courageous. So Carla said, courageous conversation. Smiley face. Cynthia says, you got it all out. He certainly did. Did you see he hijacked the show, guys? But but you got it. But
said courageous conversations. Exactly. That's what it's about.
Cynthia got it all out. Karen, you two are cool people, even when you're debating on the forum, loving it. I hold my ground. And then Morgan just talks. And I'm like, you're not gonna win this one. So I'm gonna step out, let you take your licking.
And I keep on ticking.
Cynthia says, yes, you handled it courageously. And Charlotte says, great show, Dr. R.G. Morgan. Rob,
yo, man, come on, bro. You should have tried to help me out here, man. That's not right. See now, listen, Rob. Dude, come on, man. You are supposed to have help a brother know the fight. Couldn't get that one brother to help support a brother. It's all good. Oh man.
Thanks
so yeah, we had a good conversation today, babe. All right. Okay. Let me see what else. What did Dr. Logan say?
Doctor, you would go back for Morgan. I would definitely go back for Morgan. But let me tell you something. If I got back there and Morgan said, you know what? It's been a year. I'm married and she's with child. I've been like, Negro, please. Are you kidding me?
Okay, I'm not. Y'all just.
Anyway, we're not going back down that rabbit hole.
You refuse to accept the fact that the man was operating on the fact that she was dead.
I got that. I'm sticking with Harold. She put herself in harm's way. Everybody wait. The women would wait. This is a debate for what women would do and what men would do. The women would wait. If the situation
she'd have been waiting on the ghost, I guess, right? She'd have waited on the ghost, right?
It wouldn't have taken her. She might maybe a couple of years later, but not in a year. But anyway, we've been down that road.
We back around. Okay.
I don't know. Rob's gonna have to text you offline and ask and let you know if he's for you or against you, because basically you have nobody. You have no support on this one.
You keep saying he never validated it. Listen, you keep remember what the time this was. Remember, this was hundreds and hundreds of years ago. They didn't have the technology back then. Everybody's word, it was what it was. I mean, he had no way of verifying that for real. Come on, guys. You guys are operating like it's today's times. That he could verify her death. Come on. Anyway, all right. Anyway, guys, we love you.
You want to close us out, Morg, since you got hijacked?
We love you guys. And what do you always say? Nothing you can do about it. From our heart to yours. Have a wonderful day on purpose. See you guys later.
See you on Wednesday, guys.
We're out.